Introducing the world's heavyweight champion, the Crusher.
What's happening, y'all? Almost had a full pop. Big Joe and the Panda is in the building, baby.
Take two.
It's take two, right? Listen, this is Panda's man thing right here. First of all, we got a special guest, my man Stat from my other show. You might know him from previous summer shows like On the Block Sports Club.
That's you? That's you?
That's that dude right there. My man's in there right there.
There you go.
He's sitting in all this with us today right here to talk about
Special guest.
my man Panda's favorite pastime.
One of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah. All around. Yeah, one of them. It's something else.
That's a whole nother show. That's one of my very guilty shows. You've seen our shows before. You've seen the top 5 guilty pleasures. This is one of my guilty pleasures. Old school wrestling. Today is the old school wrestling hour with the Panda and Joe. See, that's where it reversed it because it's mine.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
Yeah. So you know, everybody tries to front. Everybody tries to like hide it. No, we don't look at it. We all look at it. We all
back in the day, wrestling.
We all took a peek. We all grew up on it. That's how basically some of us got personalities. We've seen some of these cats rant on the mic, and you're like, wow, what the hell?
I might chop somebody when we get out of here.
Yeah, right. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna hit somebody with a flying body pop.
I'd like to see that.
See
that. Clear the streets.
So I just came up with a couple of things, a couple of questions. All right, so when was the first time you seen wrestling? For me, it was on Channel 9. I was shorty. Came on right after Saturday Night Live, where I tried to stay away. I tried to stay away.
After the rest of the races.
The races.
The trotters.
The trotters.
The trotter thing.
I see it. I was wondering why they had these chariots and numbers on them. I didn't get it. I didn't get the eye.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you're a kid watching these guys.
Yeah, so most of it, y'all New York saw it.
Right.
We all know about the WWW back in the days. Staying up, looking at Vince McMahon, who was back in the days.
He's swole,
doing his thing.
Yeah, it was a big DA.
With a powder blue vest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was standard back then.
Yeah.
That was definitely standard. Yeah, so that was my first time looking at wrestling. I was amazed at the joint. It wasn't just because wrestling, it was the managers on the side as well.
The characters, the colorful characters.
Yeah, Captain Lou. Yeah, the Wizard, the Grand Wizard.
Classy, Freddie Blassie.
That's on that geek.
Yes.
In your gut with his cane.
You know, they always had the bad guys. They always wrestled bad. I was always fascinated by that. Like, how come they always wrestle, manage the bad guys?
Right.
And Arnold Skolin had like 100 people under his belt.
The good guys never really had a manager, or unless that one guy. But all the bad guys had their own separate manager. And chick. Like, what the guys did?
No, they didn't have ballets back then like that.
Oh, yes, that came a little later.
That came on later in the evolution of the sport. Yeah. Okay, number 2. What was the first wrestler you've seen?
That I've seen on TV.
Yeah, on TV.
I go on a limb. I can't really recall that one, but I would say probably Bruno.
Bruno?
Probably Bruno.
San Martino.
Probably Bruno, on top of my head. But as far as like what caught my eye was Samoans, a little kid. Because a little kid always had a big afro, a little kid growing up, so. And they did their thing with the Strombos and other things like that. And I just called my mom, my auntie just staying up to midnight. But come on.
Right.
They yelling and screaming. My dad like, ladies, sit down, relax. Wrestling. Are you kidding me? Put it on the news or something. Nope. So, as far as that goes now.
Pretty much, Bruno and like,
maybe some
Gorilla Monsoon, those guys.
All the
shorty, I remember when those guys were in the ring before they was announcers. Gorilla and then George Animal Steel, even though it was a little later.
Yeah.
But Bruno and them,
Ram, all those guys.
I gotta take a lot of medicine, in my memories. But vividly, I remember this being 8, 9, trying to look at it, fell asleep, waking up to my mom laughing hysterically because manager of the year, Arnold Scoggin was one of the manager of the year, and Blue Albano's pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Captain Lou, and he took the plaque and smashed it over his head. My mom was laughing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Boom. I was hooked right there.
Exactly.
I was hooked right there from Bob Backlund on down.
Great moment.
Great moment in my personal wrestling history, which still goes on to today. Well, not so much today. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah. You don't really wrestle today. I still watch every now and then when there's nothing else on.
I can't get into it.
Because it makes me laugh. And then I look at it as now, like, what it used to be. It's like, wow, it's just so crazy.
Yeah, they destroyed it.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Favorite wrestler? Who is your favorite?
My favorite wrestler is Flash Snooker, personally.
Yeah, I know you're going with that.
Yeah.
I know to answer the next question.
Yeah, I actually cried when my man Ray Stevens popped out on the concrete. I actually cried. Cried like boo-hoo on TV.
That was a horrible moment.
And we didn't know. And we didn't realize.
I was 12? I was
like,
oh my God.
I was on the concrete and X on your screen.
Yeah.
So that was worse than when Roddy hit him with the coconut?
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Well,
Roddy was different though. With the coconut, you know, he just fell a couple of chairs and fell behind the pole.
No. Snook was brand new. You heard about his name. Okay, so you as you growing up as a kid, like, you regulated to the WWF, but like me, I used to run around and look at the magazines. Optimal.
All my money was there.
Yeah, you don't do that. They had racks. They had magazines in stores.
Yes. Right.
For those of you that don't know, you young folks, a magazine is a book with paper. Paper pages.
When you get older, they call them periodicals.
Right. You actually turn the page.
You don't have to get a
scroll.
You didn't have to nook. You didn't have a nook.
Yeah, you didn't scroll it. You turned it. Yeah, it's crazy. Wow. Ooh, paper.
Yeah. Paris. You know?
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, so we used to look at the magazines, so you read about the other wrestlers in the other different territories, and you're like, yo, Snooker, this guy is crazy, man. He's got no shoes on. Because, most wrestlers have boots.
Yeah. He was from the island of Fiji?
Yeah. Comes over to the WWF, you're like, oh, this is the guy they're talking about. This is the guy. You get a little relationship, boom, and then Ray Stevens out of nowhere. Ray Stevens looked like he was 80.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like your grandfather just power driving your best friend, you know, into the concrete.
Right.
Yeah. And you see Snooker all like now.
That brace,
you know,
XTN TV screen. That was
hard to take.
I can imagine.
Like
little child, you don't realize how they stage it. You actually thought it was real. You think the guy's dead now because his head is split open from the concrete.
Exactly. I can't wait till next week to see what he got to do.
Right. To see how he miraculously recovered.
Exactly. For some reason, I knew he was going to come back.
He's dead, but I want to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, exactly. I know he's got something to say about
it. Right. It's crazy.
What about you? Who's your favorite?
Back in those days, man, I was a Dusty guy.
Yeah.
American Dream, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you change this up? Because last time I talked to you, you were all Hulkamania. You were
really?
Nah.
This
one,
he's jokes. He's jokes.
This guy was trying to convince me.
No, I didn't.
He's
got
Hulk Hogan is not better than Flair.
No. He's crazy.
Let's stop that madness.
You got your jokes. I was a Dusty guy. I like Dusty, but the way he talked, it was hilarious, man. He made me laugh. And they got the elbow and
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty was my dude, man.
If you turn off your, he was a great mic worker. Great mic worker. When I mean mic worker, he can talk on the mic. No.
First time.
Yeah, okay, let's take this back one step. Now, you see these matches now. These guys, two guys go in the ring and they back and forth and something. So
25 minutes.
No. There was none of that back then. Right. When he told you what he was going to do, he ran up on you on the ring, if you were in there.
Right.
And that's how that whole thing started. It was like a whole 4 weeks of like
talk.
Yeah.
But they talk right before the match. Like, no, I'm going down. And they get it in.
And they handle their business.
Right.
Dusty was one of those guys. But if you turn off the TV, you swear it's a black man talking. Your American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
If you would. It's gonna be some clobbering time, baby. It's gonna be baby.
It's
Son of a plumber.
The red hot sauce maker.
People gonna get funky like a monkey. People gonna get funky like a monkey.
Kitty little piggies.
The red hot sausage maker.
He was great, man. He was great.
The personality.
The Mike skills and personality that made these wrestlers.
Hey, Dusty was the man.
And they were.
And he sold it so well. Like, even if you were getting older, but were still young, and you're like, is this fake or not? But some guys who know how to sell it will make you sit there like, wait a minute, this might be, I don't know, because he sold it well.
He sold it so well. Like at the Omni, there'll be sellouts. They didn't even show a match. He didn't even touch the person he was supposed to fight. The Omni was sold out just to see that fight.
Yeah.
That match. That's how you made your money
Right.
in those days.
That's his man, yeah.
On the mic. I already gave you who my man is. Ric Flair. The Biggie Smalls of his era. I mean, he was the Rolex watch wearing.
The profile is
He had the suits, everything,
flying.
wardrobe.
He talked about gators. I didn't even know what gators were.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? He walked that out.
Style and profile.
And you know, you got the many stages to play. When he's a heel, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But
They
if
could
you
do that.
love him or hate him, he's like Roddy Piper back in the day.
He was
You know,
a big draw.
You ain't never. He's not like He's Ric Flair.
well, I'm
Yeah.
talking about it as people, it is popularity. They love him or hate him the same.
Yeah,
Right,
okay.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Back then, yes.
Yeah, they love him and hate him just the same.
Jet plane flying.
Yeah.
Walking that aisle.
Walking that aisle, baby.
Still
Came out with the aviators.
The roll cost like 35 G's, 40 G's.
And he told you about it.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he bought Magna Tia's suit?
Yeah, I remember that.
He said, I'll give you a time back, but you got to wear a suit.
Yeah.
Coming out here like a hillbilly. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, really? Really?
Yeah.
That's what brought me in. I'm like, wow, these
Folks,
cats right here.
y'all don't know, you got to go to YouTube and look up.
Yeah, go on YouTube and look at some old school wrestling matches.
You will laugh.
You will enjoy it,
entertaining.
really.
Very entertaining.
Right. You will
Those
enjoy
guys
it.
sold it a lot better than what they. It was so
It's commercial and watered
Was it
down.
PG?
Never at all.
and gimmicky. It's very gimmicky.
There was no dolls being sold of like Dusty Rhodes.
Right. It wasn't
You know, you get a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And it
for the
has
kids.
become
For the
mainstream and a big
So
entertainment.
what happens
$1
when
billion
you become
business.
mainstream?
Get watered down.
There you go.
So especially to the people who are purists on it.
Yeah.
You know, that grew up with something. When it gets too big, it does become watered down. Unlike, it's just like hip hop, but that's a whole other show.
That's another show we're gonna get to.
Right.
But so here's the segue. Well, who's your favorite territory? Not me. This is more me and Theodore.
Let me interject real quick. Now,
Oh, yeah.
now, like you said, we Northeast guys, New York guys,
Yeah.
Bronx and all that. Now, a period of my time, my
Oh,
life,
that's right.
I lived in Florida.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this right here is great. This stuff, because I was seeing Rick stuff, the Ric Flairs and the Arns and the Magna TA matches with Nikita, and they had the Russian crew.
Right.
And watching this guy, I was like, you don't see this back home. I was like, this was bananas, man. It was great. The whole the Southern, the Florida stuff, the Georgia stuff.
Yeah.
I was seeing it was bananas.
Well, the Carolinas.
Yeah,
the
it was
Carolinas,
crazy.
Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah,
Which
the
is
Mid-Atlantic.
mine.
Yeah.
Well,
That stuff was so entertaining.
yeah.
It was so much better than the WWF at that time.
Right.
Yeah,
Even though it was still good.
It was good, but it was getting corny. We got all the
Right.
like, this isn't right.
Yeah, these guys, you know, they had seeing your Greg the Hammonds when they were younger.
Yeah.
Before they came
and then
into the
they
big league.
become like some like was it honky tonk man? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
You see, they just ripped your character apart.
Their interviews were better too back in those days in the southern
Oh,
regions
yeah.
in the Mid-Atlantic.
They got things to
The way
say.
they get at it, like the classic one, like we mentioned with Rick, the one where he talked about this jacket, and he said, "This is $800 jacket." He said, "This."
About 200. And yours?
I
don't know what it costs, but I'll be ashamed to wear it.
Yeah, it's classic.
Off the top of the head.
These guys, and how
Off
they,
the top.
or when the guy was doing his interview and ran, and how he would get jumped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was bananas.
Yeah, you see the announcer slide on the slide.
I can't have it.
Yeah.
Or when the horsemen jumped guys in the parking lot. It's the famous one when they jumped, I think, Dusty in the parking lot.
Yeah, broke his
sprawled out on the
Broke
thing.
his arm.
It was hilarious, man. When I moved out south in the early 80s, I was like,
Got you in
wow.
there. Especially in Florida, man. That's when Kevin Sullivan was running
Right,
around.
Kevin Sullivan
Yeah,
and
with
his
Hayes,
crew.
those guys.
Yeah, it was
Purple
nuts.
Haze.
Mike Graham.
Yeah, it was really.
Mike Graham, Barry Windle started there. The way he was Blackjack Mulligan Jr. back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kareem Muhammad.
Blackjack Mulligan was a Blackjack Mulligan wrestling. Dr. Death, you know those guys.
WWF.
Yes. Former Miss South.
Cowboy Bob Orton.
Yeah.
For those that watch now, Randy Orton's pops.
Right.
And then he had his grandfather was a big name.
Yeah, and he also worked for the WWF.
Yeah, so he's a third generation guy.
But they were better because also territory got along more back then. Everybody was
sometimes you go to different places and
make
like
WWF, you stayed.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't like. Well, let me ask you, what was your favorite territory?
Oh, hands down was NWA.
NWA. So
before that, it was Mid-Atlantic. Before that, I was Georgia. I probably called the time. But
NWA was with Gordon Soley, right? I think that was his name.
Well, yeah,
Gordon.
He was part of He was part of
everything.
Basically Georgia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was part of everything. But when you say NWA, it was remembered like Texas was part of NWA. So
yeah.
So
under that branch though.
I personally liked Mid-Atlantic back then.
Yeah,
that's where everybody was at, and that was where the hot matches were. Yeah.
From what I understand, back in those days, the contract situation, it was a lot lax. Like, they didn't really have ironclad contracts for each organization, so they could jump around, stay here for a year, go here, come back here. But the WWF, once you signed, you stayed with WWF until it was up.
Yeah,
so that's why those were much better, more entertaining back then, because the guys could go around. They could stay here, go there, come back there.
Exactly. But there was guys like who jumped on opportunities, and I'll give you two names, that jumped on opportunities just like that. Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher. They went from place to place to place to place to place. Yeah, Abdullah the Butcher. Sport. He went from place to place. Yeah, Stan Hansen, well, he was with the WWF for a minute.
But then after that.
But they went place to place and they made much more money.
Stan Hansen wear, bro? I mean, he had a cape. Did he have a cape?
Yeah, well, leather Western gun.
Who was the guy that had the heart punch? Remember
Stan
that?
Stasiak.
Stan Stasiak. He had a cape.
Yeah, he had a cape.
Yeah, I think he had a cape with a heart and a fist like that.
Yeah, a heart punch. It was cool. Yeah, it was very old school.
Yeah, that's old school. He had the cape. He came with a long cape. It fits your hand here.
Yeah.
And you held it there so this man could punch you in the chest.
Yeah.
It's funny as a kid, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
And you realize, wait a minute.
Why did I just block that? Why just block it? But you went with the gag, right?
Right, yeah. And watching a young Mean Mark, who everybody now knows as The Undertaker.
Yeah,
he had a
young girl.
Right.
That's crazy.
He'd do his, when he said take it old school, he'd walk across the rope, and he would jump down and punch you in your face or your chest, whatever.
But he took that from somewhere else. I had to break it down to somebody. He took that from the Spoiler. Spoiler was the first wrestler
walked the rope.
That walked the rope. It was an old school at the time.
Was he as big as?
No, he wasn't big. He was about 6'1".
Crazy because Undertaker's like 6.
But he took it from him. And no one gives the credit. Like and FYI, the tombstone was originally Don Morocco's. So high and crunch.
Yeah. He did it before with his
meatball. I actually seen him eating a meatball sandwich. Don Morocco is off the hook.
And that's another one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's
behind Dusty is Morocco. The magnificent Morocco.
As the guys the villains that I like more is between him and Roddy Piper. And I'll tell you a story about those.
I wasn't a big Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper, I looked at a lot of Georgia wrestling.
Mid-Atlantic from the back.
I liked a lot of Mid-Atlantic and Georgia, and his mic skills.
Those mic skills
was off the hook.
I would just remember Big Roddy.
Yeah, let me tell you a moment where I really dug this guy. I mean, he's like, who's this pale guy? He's talking real fast, and he's got this. He used to wear like checkerboard. Checkerboard shorts. It was crazy, and he had this feud with Jack Briscoe because he wanted the Mid-Atlantic title. Jack Briscoe, he didn't think he was up to par. He's like, I'm giving you up.
Briscoe's was good.
Briscoe's was great.
Both of them.
Yeah, they were.
So, Jerry, his little brother, just as good, had a match. And, their signature move was the figure four. So he finishes this guy, puts him in the figure four. Here comes Roddy Piper, running out. Full suit, climbs the top rope and swan dives on both their legs. Given the appearance, they broke both their legs. I'm like, oh my God, this dude took out two guys with one move, and he's going to get a title shot next week, I guarantee you. And sure enough, he did and won the belt. there's certain, you know, moments in time like that where I'm like, wow, I would never have seen that in the WWF. They would not have gotten, they wouldn't have gotten that deep in it. You know what? The storylines in most of the other territories was crazy.
No, I think the salesmanship of it, like they had their scripts. Everybody had their scripts.
Yeah.
But I think in the Mid-Atlantic, the down south type regions, their scripts were a little looser, and they sold it better to where it looked more improvisational. I think it might have been a little more improv in it, but the WWF was so to the script and so predictable. After a while, it became so predictable.
Yeah, later on. In the beginning, early stages, I would say right after Hogan came in, they still had some pretty good storylines. Mega Powers.
They did, but after a while, you could see it coming though. Right. WWF.
Right, but these other territories, Mid South. Oh my God. Great storylines, man. I mean,
World Class was cool.
World Class was, hey, you like some Von Erickson and some Freebirds.
I like
some Christmas, you know.
Even though the Freebirds
Iceman Parsons,
the Freebirds were heels, I kind of like the Freebirds, man.
Yeah, I did.
Big Bam Bam and Michael Hayes, they had personality and they got busy. So it was like, as heels, I still kind of liked them. They were entertaining.
I think so.
The Von Erichs were good, but except the real skinny one. I was like, he's too skinny to beat anybody up. I didn't really care for him. But then they all started having issues.
Yeah, unfortunately, the most tragic. The most tragic part of the wrestling right there, man. But I love different territories. Gave me different perspectives on different views on different feuds. I mean, like Tommy Rich and Matt Buzz Sawyer. This went on for like what, 3 years? This was a 3 year storyline.
I wasn't a big Tommy fan though. Something about him.
How about
he didn't really appeal to me.
Remember the other Nature Boy? He used to come up the road.
I love that storyline, man.
The other Nature Boy.
Buddy Landell with the corkscrew elbow drop. Wow.
He had the blonde hair.
And he
rolled too.
Do you know who his manager was at that time? J.J. Dillon. Before he flipped, like 3 months before he flipped over to the Horsemen. Can you believe that?
And that was by accident. It just came out of his mouth, man. Double A. Word for Horsemen, stuff.
Yeah, well, it just came out of Stone Cold. John 3:16 means I just kick. Some things, some things just
when you give them that little leeway. Things happen, like when they did speeding up to the Attitude Era with the Monday Night Wars, they had to give a little more leeway because WCW was killing them in the ratings. And it made for more entertaining television. And it was great, man. But that used to catch me up, man. The other Nature Boy. He was entertaining to watch, but he wasn't Ric Flair.
He wasn't Ric Flair, but we wanted to see that match just to see Ric Flair take him down. And
Nature Boy, Nature Boy.
Now it's time to go to school.
True boy, that's like the Bugs Bunny thing, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Ravishing Ronald.
Even the cartoons back then, made fun of those type of guys. Gorgeous Georges.
Gorgeous George is an icon in the wrestling. He's a lot before our time. But we know because they would talk about him as we got into it. Gorgeous George was the dude.
He laid down the foundation for Ric Flair. He had Dusty Rhodes.
He had the robe, the crazy getup.
He had the charisma, the crowd loved him.
Platinum blonde.
Speaking of which, did you realize the difference between the crowds back then? The fans actually, they hung on every word the wrestlers said. You can hear them in the back like, "Go Rick, go Ricky," or talking about Ricky Steamboat. "Go Ricky." You can hear them in the background. I forgot what match, and the closest I've seen to back then was an ECW match. And ECW is the closest that goes back then to the old school.
There's no holds barred.
They just let everything go. But there was one time Shane Douglas, who used to be with the WWF, they tried to bury Shawn Michaels.
And he was good.
He was franchised.
Franchise, baby.
And he broke one of the pit bulls' neck. Remember the pit bulls? Oh my God, the pit bulls were good. These guys were monsters. Do you remember them? Leather-clad dudes coming down with chains on their neck, looking like pit bulls.
Right. I remember.
So he broke one of the guys' necks, and he was in the halo, and it was a legit break.
Right.
This is what they call a shoot.
Right.
It was a real break, and franchise kept doing vignettes where they which is like little interviews on how he broke his neck and he was doing like jumping jacks and showing how his neck rolls around, whatever. So Pitbull was in the ring one day. You know, fans loved him. Yeah, I think this was in Philadelphia. Man, you know Philly fans.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They did a lot of Philly, Jersey, and Manhattan Center for their big main.
So Shane Douglas comes out. He's talking trash to the Bulldog. He grabs him by the halo and shakes him.
Wow.
And throws him to the ground. Every wrestler in the back came out. But people in the crowd jumped the rails. They actually jumped the rails to get to Shane Douglas.
That's rude.
And you look at the interview, go on YouTube and look at the shoot video. They beat him down. They beat Francine down, too. I think Francine was with him. Because he tried to run out to the car, and he couldn't get the keys out of the car. He had to open the door. And they beat him down. He finally got in the car and drove away. That was wrestling, bro.
A lot of those interviews, I think, Stone Cold does the interview, or
that's how Stone Cold got his. That's how he got on. But ECW.
No, I'm saying doing those interviews on YouTube, those shooting, they talk about old school stuff. A lot of them is
Stone Cold. Yeah.
Narrating them or doing the interview.
But Stone Cold got his ECW debut, and that's how he got his persona for Stone Cold.
Yeah, because I remember when he brought him into WWE or F at that time. He was the
ringmaster.
The ringmaster.
They tried to kill his character, like the Red Rooster.
And it's whack because when he was stunning Steve in WCW and those old days.
Go way back to when he was
NWA. He was good.
No, he was in world class. He was in Texas. He started,
but he was good then.
Right, and then they didn't need to change up.
They didn't make it so corny. He did from being with Stunny Steve, with Beautiful Bobby and them, then the Hollywood Blondes with Flying Brian. He was still good, and his hair was receding, but he was still good.
Yeah,
they made it so corny. You know, they made it corny with that, man. And it's crazy, but then he flipped it. And the Attitude Era, it was over.
They had to change up.
That was a good era too, man.
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
The Attitude Era?
Him and Rock and Triple H, those guys,
it seemed like it's funny.
Outlaws, that was tough, man.
The beginning of those guys, how like he was the ringmaster and the Rock was they had him in a little Samoan outfit stuff. It's like they didn't know what they were doing, and they finally
Rock Maivia.
And then as WCW started getting bigger, Nitro with the competition.
Billy Gunn, he was with another long rider type guy.
Right, he was some kind of express thing or something.
Hunter Helms, wasn't he vowing?
Yeah, he was from Greenwich, Connecticut. He was
vowing at the time. And Shawn Michaels, who I never liked.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Express, right. But as WCW got crazy, their ratings started blowing up.
They had to get a little raw.
They had to tune it up, and it was very entertaining, man.
I like Shawn Michaels, by the way. I love Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Great entertainer, man.
Oh, he was good.
Great wrestler, too.
He sold it. He was a good entertainer, but I wasn't a big fan.
He'll come in behind the scenes.
He's a punk.
In the ring, he sold it. He sold it.
He was never better than Brett.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a person behind the scenes. I'm talking about in that ring, he was great.
Right.
Brett was the man.
Brett was the man.
Him and the Anvil, too. They did as a tag. As a tag team. That's kind of rocks. Yeah. Sorry, folks.
Don't worry about
it. We're going to monitor something.
We're looking at future wrestlers right now.
Yeah. But, that was crazy. I like the Anvil. When they were Heart Foundation, they was...
Now, what a segue, because I'm about to ask you.
Okay.
Who's your favorite tag team?
What territory?
You pick.
My favorite tag team in WWF is the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
They were one of the best, my favorite is Bulldogs. NWA, I think that's many NWA. I'm going to go Midnight Express.
Okay.
NWA.
Midnight Express.
World Class, these tags didn't really stand out to me, but, I would say the Von Erichs, but most of the time I'll probably say Chris Adams and Gino Hernandez.
Oh, the original Dynamic Duo?
You know what? I say Freebirds. We're going Freebirds. World Class.
Go ahead.
Freebirds. UWF. I don't know.
Former Mid-South?
Yeah, that's tough, UWF. That's tough. I go with your boy as the Rat Pack, man.
You damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
That's right.
The Rat Pack was Ted DiBiase, Hacksaw Jimmy Duggan before he got the board and he got He was doing that whole stuff. He was just a hippie. He was just a wild hippie. And Matt Bourne, who later became my favorite, Doink.
Doink the Clown.
Doink.
Man, and a guy another guy they took, and they gimmicked him. And the gimmick kind of worked, though. Because Doink was popular until they got another Doink or whatever.
Yeah.
Another another guy they took and made a great gimmick was the Undertaker, and that kind of worked out.
Yeah, it did. It worked. Phenom.
Yeah, that kind of
Can't
worked
miss
out.
with the Undertaker. See, I'm not. I can't remember all the different things like you did, but I agree with you with the Freebirds. That was one of my favorites. And then later on, I have to go with the Doom.
Doom.
I was
Okay,
a big fan of
WCW,
Doom.
yeah.
Butch Reed and my man Ron Simmons.
Yeah,
Those are my dudes right there. Along with my ultimate number one in that region, the whole South, and they would go back and forth, is the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
I'm a Hawk and Adam guy.
Yeah.
But number one
Warriors,
is Road Warriors. Legion of Doom.
You're right.
And then comes Doom and then the Freebirds. So,
Well, I mean,
I give props to Doom because there wasn't a lot of brothers in the thing.
Right.
It was before Harlem Heat, before.
no, you had Soul Patrol.
Yeah.
There was Soul Patrol before us. And they had some guys,
Doom
PYTs.
Yeah,
that you probably know.
I know PYT. Coco and other guy.
Yeah,
But
before Coco started putting birds on
Yeah,
it.
that was disgusting.
But Doom is the truth, man. They used to go, their matches with the Road Warriors were crazy, and then also with Ron Simmons, when he fought Big Van Vader, those were epic. Because nobody was power slamming Big Van Vader until Ron Simmons. He power slammed. I was like, oh, wow.
Florida State.
Yeah.
Simmons was
First
All American.
back champion?
Yeah, first
Yeah.
line. Yeah. And
All
then
the
carry
American.
out. Bill Watts.
Yeah.
That was the man behind that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Bill Watts.
good.
Shout out to Bill Watts.
Yeah, for that.
All right, my tag team, my favorite tag team in the WWF. Oh, first of all, I'm gonna correct something that you said, and I hate when people say it. When they, the Road Warriors, when they became Legion of Doom, that was WWF.
Yeah, that's why I just threw out both names.
Legion of Doom was Jake the Snakes Roberts, the Spoiler, King Kong Bundy, and the Road Warriors.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, that was when
That was a Paul Aaron.
the whole crew.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. My favorite tag team wrestlers in the WWF, tag team wrestlers the Road Warriors. In Georgia, the Road Warriors. In the AWA, the Road Warriors.
Yes.
Oh, what Road Warriors. Mid-class, it was a dynamic duo for me. That's why I got on Tully. Because Tully Blanchard, if you guys don't know, you gotta look him up. He was a wild man. I mean, even when you seen him in the Horseman, he calmed down. Tully Blanchard was a beat. He turned Wahoo McDaniel's back. He turned him into a heel. Tully, and he was the first one that he used to come out Mid-Atlantic. I used to look at it on the Spanish station, 47. 47 in Nueva York. Yeah, and he used to come out his promos. He was the first one. He came out with a suit. He came out to Smooth Operator. He came out to Smooth Operator. This was before Baby Doll and all that. He had feuds with Carlos Colon, Carlito Colon's father, and Dusty, which are classic, and Magnum.
Dusty.
Tully Blanchard, man, he doesn't get enough credit where he got.
Tully's great.
Tully.
For those hardcore fans who know about
Tully Blanchard, he's the main man. And yeah, his Mid-Atlantic days and his feuds with Ricky Steamboat. And that's a guy we didn't even mention, man. Ricky Steamboat, man.
Ricky the Dragon.
Ricky, before he was the Dragon.
Okay, my bad.
Before he was running around with an iguana.
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah. Before WWF days, he was great.
Ricky Steamboat was good, man.
Yeah,
the feuds with him and Ric Flair, the feuds with him and Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah, they're classic matches. They would go they do sometimes a 2 or 3, 4 matches.
Yeah.
All those type things. Rick Steamboat and Flair. Those were classic.
60 matches, man.
Yeah. Those were great.
Now here's my next one. Who was your best faction? Who was his best stable? Because everybody's like NWO.
Mine was a Horseman. Top of my head, but if I think again, I might change it though. As right now.
All right, you know what? Your best stable taking out the Horseman. I'm going to take out the crutch.
Without the Horseman,
it's an easy crutch.
You can use Road Warriors easy crutch with tag teams. Come on, man. Same thing. But like Road Warriors. Everybody likes Road Warriors. Oh, what a rush.
But they were dominant back then. No, you know what? When the Road Warriors came in, they were wild, dude. Nobody knew what they were all about.
Yeah, they would just come running out of the ring.
Everybody liked them. Everybody liked them regardless.
I mean, they came out looking like Road Warriors. Like, you just see Mad Max. You just see these Mad Men come running in the ring, beating people up in 2 minutes, and then give these crazy interviews. Hey, you know?
Who you like to fight for fraction?
Bad streets of shot.
Don't say Varsity Club.
Screw you.
Screw you.
Screw you.
Yeah, I know you.
Screw you.
Panda.
I know you gonna say, Dr. John, I know you gonna say that, man.
That was a... Yo,
that was a cool crew because they were all Americans.
All Americans. representing each one. Dude, wrestling each one. Oklahoma, Steve Williams.
I never liked it. I think
Mike Rotundo, Syracuse.
Yeah, it's Q's.
That fits you well.
Hey, the dog-faced gremlin. Reveling.
What? Rotunda was Michigan, right? Mike Rotunda?
No, Mike Rotunda, Syracuse.
Michigan.
Steiner.
Steiner.
Right, okay, right.
And then you got Kevin Sullivan.
Right. What's
Boston College.
Okay.
Kevin Sullivan. Benoit. Benoit. Come on, man. No, actually, the Rat Pack is one of my favorite factions. That's a three-man crew.
Had a couple of good moments.
That was a three-man crew. Who? Bobby Heenan?
Had a couple of good
I was going to talk about our favorite managers later.
Okay.
But,
he had that little crew back in the day.
NWO, I'm not sold on.
Yeah, Bundy and Paul Orndorff and a couple of the guys, man.
That was a good crew, too.
Yeah.
I really not sold on them, NWO, that is, because they won all the time. Every band.
When it was that, you have a roster of 80 wrestlers and 25 of them were NWO guys. So they outran the script.
Then they had to split it when it was the Wolf Pack and
it was too late.
red and white.
Yeah.
It was red and black and black and white.
And within that time, Sting was up in the Raptor for an hour.
25.
Okay. Sting was up in the Raptors for 5 months.
Yeah, fighting
for nothing.
For nothing. Fighting 32 for the back with a bench ball back. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Sting thing, man. I think he should have came. I don't know. I
he was true.
He was
the franchise.
Yeah, he was.
He was the franchise. Not you.
It was like when Ric Flair supposed to come to WWF in 95, 96. They didn't come.
No, he had some kind of dispute with the Crockett's or something. That's why he made his first run over here. And that's when he went back.
He was coming 95.
And you know what? That was good, because that brought on talent like Sting. Sting started to blow up at that time. He just came from the UWF and all that.
Just think, what if him and Ultimate Warrior would have...
No, they wouldn't have blossomed.
You don't think they would have blossomed?
They had to go.
He would have carried Warrior, I should say.
They had to break up because they had different paths.
Yeah,
Warrior, he was rocking crowds out here.
Yeah, he was rocking the crowds, but Sting had a better mic personality.
Yeah, because he can
talk better. Yeah, so
the Warrior was all about the universe and the Warrior. Yeah, I couldn't understand what he said.
Right.
I didn't care. He didn't care after a while. He didn't care.
He sold it ring wise. He had the energy. It was exciting. But Sting, he had the
crowd.
Package.
He had the crowd.
He could talk on it.
Talking to Mike. He couldn't wrestle at the time, but he learned.
Yeah,
right.
He learned after a while. And when you're wrestling Ric Flair, you're gonna pick up. You're wrestling Arn Anderson, you're gonna pick up.
Yeah.
You're wrestling, Tully.
Arn was a great wrestler. One of my favorites is Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
On the side, though.
Yeah, right. Arn Anderson was the first one. Yeah, with that gourd buster that I seen, I was like, oh, what the hell is that?
Well, he would attack a body part.
He was gourd buster.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Go for the leg and then the leg.
He broke it down.
But he came up with the spine buster and then,
DDT
came
He worked the mic well, too.
Of course.
Great.
He was an Anderson.
Yeah. Yeah, he just looked like a guy that would punch you in the face for just let something wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't say, excuse me, punch you in the face. He just had that look, Like if he bumped him, he didn't say, he was going to get it.
Always sucker punch.
Oh, man, right there. Double A, baby.
Who's your favorite faction?
I take it WWF, but old days, whereas Samoans, baby.
No, the whole group.
There was a bunch of them.
No, I remember that time. Yeah,
Albino and his crew.
Yeah,
Albino and his crew. Even though they were heels, the bad guys, he had the Executioners, where there was about 100 of them. The Samoans, he had the Alpha and Sika.
You take it old school.
He had a clique.
Right.
Captain Lou had a clique.
Didn't he have Mr. Fuji and Saito at the time?
Yeah. Right. It's funny. He had Fuji and his partner.
Yeah, Morocco
and then
too.
Fuji went on to become a manager later on.
Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco too.
So Captain Lou's stable was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Some good bad guys, like the bad guys wise. And like the Samoans, man.
I like Samoans.
Yeah.
Down with the Samoan guys.
I can dig that.
I look like a man.
Bad guys, man. Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter. No rival.
Who's your most hated wrestler?
Easy. Uncle Tonk, man. Easy.
Oh, definitely.
I didn't care for that. It was
that was disgusting.
Brutus Beefcake, right?
See, you know what? You hated him because of the gimmick or just because he couldn't wrestle?
Huh?
You hated him because he... A little bit of both.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. The hair, how he talked, the outfit, he's dancing.
Yeah.
All that, the guitar, everything.
That was so cool.
Everything. What was it?
I could stomach Double J more than I did Honky Tonk Man.
Right.
When you come to guitar bashing.
Double J.
Slap nuts?
Yeah. Double J, I didn't like him because it was like, yo, he would always get over, man.
When he had the suspenders?
He was alright. He didn't lose enough for me, but he was good though. He was a good bad guy. I'm not a big fan, but he was a good bad guy. He was much better. If I was going to see somebody get smashed with a guitar, I'd rather see Double J do it than Honky Tonk Man.
Right. Okay.
You know.
It's the El Kabong Award.
Right, exactly. Let Double J do it.
All right. My favorite, just to say, the one I hate the most, not just because I hate him, because I'm a sneaky bastard. Larry Zabisco. Larry Z. We're going to allow
I hate him too.
We're going to allow it. You think he was going to get beat and he would weasel his way out or something?
Yeah.
Underrated on the mic.
Right.
Underrated. He got it on the mic.
I didn't like him personally.
Oh, yeah. He just was.
He looked like a mean.
He beat Barry Windham one time for the Western.
Yeah, that was
it. Yeah, I just didn't like Larry. Something about Larry just.
He's like another mean, irritable person.
Just talk crap.
Just regularly mean. Even off camera, he was just mean. Probably cursed his kids. He's just look mean.
Spudhead. And so we're gonna close out this talk with the state of wrestling today. What do you think about it, bro?
I got before that. I got one of the best rappers.
Oh, really? Best rock one. Man. Wow. That goes deep.
From all eras type thing?
Anywhere. Well, give me two albums.
I give you two?
Just two.
All right.
There's so many.
Flair and Steamboat.
Of course, that's one of the great ones.
Flair and Steamboat.
Magnum and Nikita.
That's one of the great ones. Snooker Morocco, great one.
No, you on Fuse or just Robert?
Was Robert Fuse?
Same thing.
Okay. So then, So Flair and Steamboat. There's a tie between, as I said before, Tommy Wi-Fi Rich and Buzz Sawyer.
Yeah.
And Hogan and Macho Man.
That was pretty good. Hogan Macho was good.
Yeah. Hogan and Macho Man became bitter enemies, and they were mega powers. And then Hogan tried to steal your girl. And then it was on again. So it was three stages to that.
Well, it was a good rivalry. Was the Mega Powers against Orndorff and was it Roddy Piper? Did you team up with?
Yeah.
They went at it for a little while. They had their little good run.
I like that one. That was pretty good.
Even Dusty gets the Horseman by himself.
Yeah, because he pretty much was by himself.
He was put on one time.
It was Dusty against the Horseman.
Yeah.
Nobody really helped Dusty out.
Well, Magnum just got hurt.
Yeah.
No, Magnum got hurt
later
on. No, in the first stage, nobody was helping Dusty. He was on
his own, man.
But then Magnum came, and then, Barry came, Barry Windham.
Then Barry would flip on him to become the Horseman.
No, first it was Lex that flipped on him. And then Barry flipped on him.
What do you think is the best fourth? Because our fourth Horseman kind of
That's always up for debate. That's always for debate.
Barry or Lex?
I was going to go Tony Roma.
Come on.
I think Barry Windham was a better fourth Horseman.
He should have been the one before Lex. But you know what? He has so much popularity. See, Barry, he's an enigma, because like in every other tournament, Florida, the Mid-Atlantic, Carolinas, he could have got a title shot at any time. He was so popular. He came to the WWF. He couldn't get any traction.
Yeah. What was his partner before he did the Horseman thing? Was it the Skyscrapers? Wasn't that Barry and
No,
that's Spivey and
Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious. Managed by who?
Ooh, good one. Hold up, JJ.
No,
not JJ.
I don't know.
Teddy Long? No.
Teddy Long.
Okay, I guess
Teddy Long had some of the best tag teams. He had Doom.
Yes, he did.
And he had the Skyscrapers. Never got a title shot for the Skyscrapers because I think Spivey got hurt or something like that. Then Mean Mark took over.
Mean Mark. A.K.A. The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him one time downtown when he was still Mean Mark. It was by the Madison Square Garden. I was like, Mean Mark. Because very seldom you see a pale, redheaded, 6'10" foot man walking down, walking on by the gardens. I was like, he stood out like a sore thumb. well, I guess for the only people that knew, I was like, wow, this is
Everybody else thought he was a biker, huh?
Yeah, she was huge, man. I was like, wow, that's my dude.
Who do you think is the most underrated wrestler?
Underrated wrestler. You know what?
Bruno Sammartino.
No.
Underrated.
Yeah, legend, though.
You mean underrated like in their mic skill, their total
Underrated
package?
as far as wrestling skills. You know, my wrestling skills, like in the ring, maybe get a lot of title shots and stuff like
Didn't
that.
get title shots.
But maybe had a title here and there, but
Barry Windham.
no, Barry was underrated.
He was.
Barry, no, I don't think Barry.
I don't think
Oh, Terry Taylor.
Barry, he get his due. I don't think underrated.
Terry Taylor.
He's still underrated.
Barry Windham should have got a title shot before Magnum even came
Yeah,
into the picture.
I'll give it to you on that. Anywhere.
You know what I mean?
Anywhere.
He went to he actually battled Ric Flair to a couple of like draws. He was supposed to be next in line, but I mean Terry Taylor. He didn't get enough of this dude.
What about Tito Santana?
No, Tito.
Tito was good, man.
You mean
He was
Chico?
good.
You mean Chico?
He was right though.
Chico.
That's Tito.
Special
That's what I
Delivery
said.
Jones.
Oh,
yes.
That's my fan favorite.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
fan favorite.
He was a
Cognac.
Yeah.
from the Bronx, baby.
Yeah, from the Boogies. S.D. Jones, brother.
SP, baby, special.
I'm saying Raging Bull, man. Fernandez.
Manny Fernandez?
Underrated.
Very underrated. Yeah.
He's underrated. He's an underrated wrestler.
Yeah, but he was always better as a heel. He was always better as a bad guy.
Either way. Yeah, he was better with him and the bad guy. Him and
Yeah.
Rick Rude.
Rick Rude's another guy who didn't get enough.
Yeah.
You know, because his skills was good.
Yeah, he was good. He's a good heel.
He
So
made
good.
what you call it, the Ultimate Warrior look good with those IC matches, the Intercontinental matches. He actually made him good.
Yeah, Rick Rude was he was very entertaining. Very entertaining.
What is your favorite title, period? Looking wise, like, for image wise.
Oh, the WCW, the big
Favorite title.
The one.
The big one.
Flair always had
the Flair one.
The heavyweight, I don't know if the heavyweight, but the World Championship joint.
I used to love the U.S. tag team belts. Listen about that. I used to love those.
I kind of like the U.S. title itself.
US, yeah, I like those too.
The U.S. title.
The TV title was dope.
TV title's hot.
Hot with that red,
The Intercontinental title that
Which one?
Morocco was wearing, the green one.
Green. Yeah, with the gold front. Yeah, that was dope.
That was ultimately great.
That was dope.
It kind of looked better than the title, the royal title itself.
In the green, in the green. The 10 pound belt.
Yeah,
that's
AWA.
It was nice.
The one that Nick Bach, we ain't saying nothing about Nick Bach one.
Yeah, that was nice.
Nick Bach.
Nick Bach was alright.
He's underrated.
He didn't fool me though. He didn't grasp my.
You know why? Because he fought Vern Gagne.
He
fought Vern Gagne, who was like 60. He looked like you. And he was.
He was alright.
Sorry. Come on. Vern Gagne was like 80, but he still held the title. He was beating young guys.
Yeah.
What you think of Ken Patera? What's your opinion on that guy?
He had his moments.
Bad guy. Yeah, he had his moments.
You know, away from the WWC, this is like crazy, but all the way to the WWE. Ken Patera was good down south.
Yeah.
He was good down south. He's another underrated guy. Number one, Paul Jones.
Yeah, Paul Jones was good.
Number one, Paul Jones.
Paul Jones was good.
Number one, Paul Jones.
Wow, sounds like something you name yourself.
I didn't call it.
What you thinking?
Yeah.
So he's supposed to say 4 on door first.
Mr. Wonderful.
He was great. He just didn't get enough light. When he got to WWF, he just didn't pull enough and all that.
Yeah.
But when he was down south, Ken Patera was crazy. And let me think. You threw me over.
My bad. Okay, Big Joe's bugging out.
So State of Wrestling. What's up?
It's
crap.
It's too. They just too much with the gimmicks, man.
It's crap.
I refuse to watch it.
It's crap.
I look at it occasionally.
I don't give a
and it's just too.
All right. Let me tell you the thing. Being greedy kills you.
Right. There's no competition.
He bought up all the territories. There's nothing to compare it to right now.
Right.
Because, did you tell me about this?
The TNA, it's funny, this is what Jeff Jarrett started, but then he got bought out of it. And it's terrible.
The only competition WWF or WWE was getting was ECW. And they bought up all their.
No, at that time it was ECW and WCW.
Yeah.
But then Ted Turner started losing money, and then they just.
ECW was holding it down, and Paul Lee.
They couldn't fight the machine. Vince's machine just crushed them. too big for him. He should have left. It would have been nice if he'd have left them alone and let them breathe, because it would have had, it would have created competition. But
some competition is good. When you're the only one,
they want to monopolize.
when you're the only one, who can you compare yourself to?
Yeah, we men didn't really respect, the how can I put it?
The fans.
The fans or the territorial or rules, I'll say, of pro wrestling behind the scenes, either.
He wanted to be greedy.
Yeah, exactly. Now that it's watered down. I refuse to watch it personally. I can't do it.
It's foolish. Yes. No, it's not foolish. It's for kids.
Yeah.
Even when he went on TV, when he went on TBS back in the days with WWE, we put out the show for an hour.
Yeah. And
nobody watched it. And the following week came back with NWA.
No, okay.
It's like, it's too late for that now.
Black Sunday, they call it?
Yeah, exactly, Black Sunday.
Black Sunday. In the rest of the world, that's called Black Sunday.
It was nuts, man.
I like variety back then. I like looking at Texas Red. What's their storyline? What they got going there?
Right.
Mid-South UWF was hot. That was such a hot territory. They had such great wrestlers.
It was still good up until the 90s, man. When you had like we said, the wars with WCW, that was still pretty good.
Yeah, but it went ham. It went ham.
Yeah, once it was over, it was.
I mean, the last time I checked, it was like David Arquette had that belt. I was like, really?
Yeah, that was done.
Really?
Crazy, man.
It was 6 NWOs.
Right. Yeah.
Juventud Guerreros coming out on tractors.
Yeah. Even the rest of the Mexican.
Yeah.
Lucha Libre.
Which I thought was the most racist thing I ever
They
seen.
would come out on a tractor. John Deere.
John Deere.
That was rude. Very rude.
What am I looking at right now?
What was funny was when you listen to The Rock, people made fun of that guy. It's like a guy who just came from WCW. He came in, I forget who it was, came in WWF trying to talk mess to Rock. Rock was like, last week you were fighting some guy named Hoobie Tube or whatever. Who are you? Like, who are you? Like, and the way he said it was hilarious, and it was true. Like, you look at a Hoobie Tube, and they had the stupid mask on, it just looked so funny.
It's Lucha Libre joints.
They're entertaining, but the WCW made them look like clowns.
Right. Yeah,
they made the Lucha Libres look corny.
Except for one guy, La Parka, the chairman of the board.
And Rey Mysterio, because he was able to come from there, and he was able to do his thing.
Yeah.
But they made them look corny because they had all those stupid names, and I know it's their culture with the mask and everything, but WCW made it look corny.
No, they called it out when they had like 100 NWOs.
Yeah.
100 factions.
Yeah, they broke down the different. It was too much.
Wasn't Roddy Piper with a bad hip on the NWO?
Yeah, it's just too much. Remember Conan from them? He was the Mexican guy, and then he switched, and he had like they were all like
I didn't like WCW.
It's just.
But they changed a little background for NWA, WCW.
It had a little bit of run. It had a little bit of run.
I like the theme of the
that was like ladies and 90s and whatever. But it had its run. I kind of liked it, man. That was the roots where I got away from the It was my little retreat from the WWF. I got a great story, fresh storylines, women fighting each other. What was the craziest incident you've seen?
There's so many, man.
Yeah, all right. I mean, besides, I got two, but
you got it. I'll take on mine real quick.
Don Morocco, that's in Georgia Wrestling. Don Morocco was talking Golden Soley. Golden Soley, if you don't know, is like Howard Cosell was announcing him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's revered.
Real straight.
No, but he's revered by all the wrestlers, and everybody's cool with him.
He's a great straight man for their
Exactly, and his second man, usually they have a second man, they have like Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla, or
Gorilla and Jesse the Body.
Jesse the Body. His partner happened to be Roddy Piper. And Don Morocco was talking crap to Gordon Soley. He didn't touch him. And Piper jumped him. I'm like, all right. Protecting Gordon Soley. Gordon Soley was happy. He was very grateful because the crazy Hawaiian was about to smash him in. Next week, Don Morocco's in the ring. And he's wrestling somebody. Here comes Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper used to come in the ring with suits. Now that I'm thinking about it, he used to come in the ring with a suit. When you see Roddy Piper with a regular suit, you got to watch it back. Don Morocco finishes the match. He turns around. Piper's there. Piper punches him out with a roll of quarters. Never seen no crap like that. I mean, that was real. That was like gangster. Like, you owe me money. Bam. Second one was Jake the Snake, DDT, and Dark Journey.
Yeah.
That blows me out.
Yeah,
Because
I see that
On
one.
the concrete, wasn't it?
no, in the mat,
mat.
in the mat. Because there was a point where Valet doesn't get touched.
Yeah.
I mean, Baby Doll would go in the ring and mess with Dusty, but he wasn't there. He gave him a spanking one time, I think, but that was about it.
Yeah.
A violent DDT to the face
Yeah, that's crazy.
to a woman. I almost said broad.
Killing us here.
Yeah.
I would say definitely was the beginning of Morocco snooker for sure. When Buddy Rogers got to do in Morocco.
I see you posted that the other day.
Yeah.
That broke that memory.
Jimmy comes out, he feels disrespected by this guy. He come in the ring, but that's one for sure. I like when Benoit's guys invaded WWF when they left WCW. That was pretty cool. When they came out through the stand.
Eddie Guerrero?
Eddie Guerrero and them, Benoit, Perry Saturn.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty
Perry
cool.
Saturn was pretty. He's entertaining. He was good for a little
He was good,
while.
technically.
They didn't give him nothing. I don't know.
He didn't have the was in that.
The look, probably though, but he was pretty
Are
cool.
you kidding me? You didn't have to look. They had
I mean, the image of him made me feel like the world title though.
No.
Like that. He was like mid-card.
Yeah. Dbnebmusic. He's underrated.
Man,
Yeah, he was too small though. He was
Yeah,
way
he was too small.
I don't care.
It's crazy looking now. One of the
Shawn
biggest
Michaels.
guys. Not even Shawn Michaels.
Shawn's bigger, a little bigger than I thought.
The biggest name now is Daniel Bryan. He's a little guy.
Yeah.
But he's got good moves.
He's injured,
Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels has time run. I really. Come on, you beat Vader, you beat The Undertaker. Come on, you
That's
kidding me?
baloney. Yeah, that was so baloney, man.
You kidding me?
Put him in a casket.
The most
Underrated big man would be who?
No, not underrated. What disappointing wrestling? Most disappointing.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a few.
My personal is Kane. When Kane came out, he ripped the door off a Hell in a Cell match. You couldn't. It took three power drivers by Undertaker to each actually pin him, and he got beat by the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
X-Pac. Yeah. They should have worked that. They should have
He
worked
was
that
supposed to be a
brother.
monster.
They should have worked that brother combo a little longer. The Undertaker and Kane. They should have worked that longer. They'd have been better. That would have been great. They'd have been unbeatable, but they should have did it more.
They had their runs.
Yeah.
The Brothers of Destruction.
Right. Yeah.
Oof, that's a
That was dope. I'm an Undertaker fan. That's my dude, man.
I thought you were a Dusty fan.
That too, but I like Undertaker now. When you come to Martin, when you go different generations, you're coming up. I like Undertaker. Especially when he was a biker. The biker Undertaker, that was cool, man.
The Red Devil. That was his name.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. I just remember there was a biker guy.
Yeah.
And he come with his boys, the two twin guys. And they had their cuts and
yeah.
stuff. When they had all those little crews, they had the
They had the racially.
the racial crew. They had the
motivated crews.
The bikers and the Puerto Rican crew and the black crew. Yeah, there was Ron Simmons, but he was Farouk though.
Farouk. Salvatore Val something.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Falvio.
Yeah.
The Dominican crew.
It was Puerto Ricans or something like that.
And
The Rock was in it for a minute. He had the Versace shirts and the big chain. I'm like, wait a minute. And then he switched over and got down with Farouk and them, and he broke that up. It was bananas, man.
And then they had the Aryan crew.
That was Undertaker.
Yeah, the ABs.
It was bananas. It was real racist. It was crazy, man.
And then Owen Hart joined the black family.
Yeah.
So he was a Black Heart. I got it, but it didn't make sense.
That was very good, very entertaining,
Very entertaining. Brought back memories. I want to atomic elbow drops.
We'll go later at the bar.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll chop him and you elbow. Tag him on. I think those scatter were kicking the door and go, oh, what a rush. That's
Yeah.
we can feel that.
A few looks from that. Yeah.
But we'll be back in a couple more weeks, folks.
With new topics and new craziness.
Right, something to make you laugh, something to scratch your head, something to go, those guys are nuts. That's
That's how your life was last night.
That's true.
You
had to be there.
Wow, Simone.
W boys, yo.
Someone's getting freaky.
It's
going to be on.
Testify. Woo! Oh, wow. That is funny.
Big shouts. Soon to be coming up on, check out the podcast on chillloveradio.net. You can check now on the Sports Talk previous shows and up-to-date shows. Soon, the Big Joe and the Panda will be on chillloveradio.net for the podcast. So stay tuned. Big shouts to my man Mustafa on the boards for helping us out.
Yes, sir.
Big shouts to my man Stat, my man Feezy coming through.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
You gotta get your Casio.
You gotta get my Casio. I'm like Reggie, baby.